Hello, it looks like it's time for N Scale Friday again. I have something a little unusual from Atlas here. So let's go over to the workbench and take a look. All right, so here's what we're looking at today. This is an Atlas N-Scale Articulated Auto Carrier Set. And I usually don't show these models in the box like this, but I wanted to show you this one this time because it's a little bit unusual the way it comes. It's a well, it's technically a one-car set. This set has only one road number. As you can see on here, it's NS110240. And so, one of these is the A car and one of these is the B car. But I just wanted to point it out because it has a shared truck here. And you'll see when we put it together here on the desk. But these are pretty cool. And it's something I haven't seen Atlas do before. I saw numerous road names on Atlas's website, including some that are sort of pre-faded, if you want to call it that, where the paint is put on a lighter shade so that they're kind of ready to be weathered and don't look brand new. And yeah, several different road numbers. These go for $64.95. I think probably your best bet would be to go to Atlas's website and see if they have what you're looking for. There is a little bit of assembly required with this. Here you see the two cases, and then the diaphragm and shared truck assembly is down here, and then the instructions tell you how to put it all together. So I'll get this put together and we'll take a closer look. One other thing I want to mention before I go too far along here is that the minimum radius curve listed on Atlas's website for this model is 9 3/4 inches. So as you can see, the diaphragm and shared truck assembly comes all in one piece, but you have to remove the truck temporarily and pivot one of these tabs to be coming out of this side and then leave the other one coming out of this side. And then you just screw them down into each half of the car. Pretty straightforward stuff. And this seems kind of important to know. This truck is not supposed to pivot. It's just supposed to sit here. So you can tighten that down to where it's tight enough where it doesn't move. So if you look in the bag, it came with only 3 screws, but it looks like there's actually 4 holes. Don't worry, it's okay. The instructions say to match this hole with this hole. Okay, you don't have to use all 4, you only have to use 2. One here on this side, and then the same on the other side. Boy, I tell you what, it took me a minute to get that on there, but I finally got it screwed down. Now for the fun part, I'm going to add the other side to it. All right, so I got the 2 parts screwed in. So let's put this thing on the track and finish the spotlight. All right, so as usual, I've scrutinized the paint and found it to be really good. I like the fact that the yellow is on there thin enough that you can see a lot of this rivet detail in here and all the sort of grid patterns where the side panels are. I wasn't able to make out some of this really small writing down here, but that's okay. This is N-scale. I don't know that you'd be able to see that even if you had a microscope. But yeah, it looks really cool. And the fact that this is a working diaphragm is also pretty cool. All right, so we're looking at what appears to me to be the brake end. You can see some molded detail in here that looks like it's probably brake detail. I'm not seeing anything else on the model that would indicate to me whether this is the brake end or not. But in any case, you can see that the detail is molded for the ladder. And it doesn't have additional stuff like cut levers or air hoses on it. But this is so small that I don't really think it needs any of that. Wanted to get a little bit lower of an angle on this thing so that you can check out the detail in the doors. I think that door detail is pretty good. We'll take kind of a low angle shot of the other side, and just to give you an idea of the overall look of this thing. Seems like there's not really a lot to look at on the roof here. Just the corrugations. I think that's what you call these little marks along the roof. It looks like there's something here. Can't really tell what that is. But I can tell you, if you weather this car, that little mark will all but disappear. And finally, we're going to look at the bottom here. The chassis has molded brake detail. And I noticed when I pulled this out of the box that it has some weight to it. And it turns out that the chassis of both units here is die-cast metal. I really like this model quite a bit. I would highly recommend, though, that if you get this model, that you just assemble it once, put it on your layout, and then just leave it there. Because, just for example, if I want to take this model down to the club and I want to transport it in the box that it came in, I'll have to take it apart, and then I'll have to assemble it there. And, I mean, they have a space to do stuff like that, but the pieces are so small and it's such a finicky process trying to line up those really tiny holes that I would prefer to just be able to take it out of a box and just set it on the track. So I guess what I'm trying to say is have a box that you can transport it in as assembled, and or else just put it on your layout and leave it there. So that's it for this time, and I'll see you next time.